Hi everybody. So, the episode Mikey has gotten a lot of response, and I wanted to create a video about it, just talking about the response. So a couple days ago I spent a few hours and filmed a semi-professional video. I had a microphone to get a better audio quality than what you're hearing right now, and had a white background set up, and it looked good. And then I went to the editing room with it, and I watched myself, and throughout the whole thing I was just sitting there going, what the hell am I talking about? It kind of felt like as it went, I lost the intent of the video, which was talking about the response of this episode. Instead, I just kind of rambled on about creating it, and I don't want to talk about how I created it. I can talk about that anytime. I talk about that during the comments. Anyway, I lost the core focus of what I was trying to do with that video, so I scrapped it, and I went with this. Just to simply say, I am very pleased and touched by the response that episode 8 has gotten. Mick and I knew that we were making a pretty big episode, which is why there aren't a lot of Mickisms in that one. And we hoped it would resonate with the audience in some form. And it did. At least according to the comments, it did. So I searched all day the past few days trying to find the right words to say to convey what I'm feeling at the comments below, and how you guys have taken this episode, and how you've reacted, and what you've said about it, and the things that I know about you, and what you have told me. And all I can say really is thank you. Thank you for staying with this series, and thank you for feeling open enough to say in the comments section that you cried during that scene in part 2. It means a lot. I had a previous project, most of you might not know, a Ghostwriter. It went up to 2 seasons worth, and the cast loved it. The cast still loves it. They were kind of hoping I would continue it at some point, but the problem is Ghostwriter didn't really get that big of a response from the comments section. We would get a couple people one episode, and then we would get 0 the next. It's kind of troubling going through a whole series like that, knowing, like, is anybody even viewing this, or are all these likes just from the cast? Ghostwriter couldn't resonate with the audience the same way this does, and that seems really silly to say, considering this series is a fanfic series about a hedgehog who can be a normal person, or a normal person to a hedgehog, vice versa. But the fact that it still happened, the fact that you guys could express yourself in the comments just from one scene in part 2, I still can't find the words. It just means a lot that I can do that for you guys, that I can inspire that amount of emotion, or allow you to sympathize with Sam so greatly. And that's really all I wanted to say. When it comes right down to it, Mick had a couple words too. I will keep those. I'll throw this at the end of the recording. He wanted to record something, but he was too busy at the time, so he asked me to record something for him. So he sent me a paragraph or so of all the feelings he felt during Mikey. So I'll keep that in. I'll throw that in at the end. But thank you for sticking with Sonic so far, for continuously coming back episode after episode and still commenting. The comment section may not be humongous, but it means a lot knowing that you guys come from episode 2 and are still here at episode 8. It means a lot to have a consistent audience. Hopefully a consistent and growing audience, but I'll take a consistent audience. Thank you all, and have a good day.
Hi everyone. I'd record myself saying this, but there are a lot of people in my house making a lot of noise, so I can't exactly do that right now. Anyway, as I was recording this episode, I was also studying up on Konstantin Stanislavski's Creating a Role. It's a part of a series of books on acting he wrote that I recommend anyone wanting to do acting in any sort to read. In that particular chapter I was reading, I was learning about how Well, I'll just say it was something about emotions. I can't remember what principle in particular he was talking about. And then this script comes along in an email and I go, oh man, this is going to require every inch of my soul. This is a big one. And before the whole crying stuff, I recorded everything else, and then I stopped the recording, and I listened to a song that gets me crying every time I hear it. And then I started recording again on the lines I knew had a lot of emotional power. Like, it's a pain the audience needs to feel if it's going to be effective. And apparently it was. It was also the first time I ever cried on command, which is a hallmark moment for me as an actor, because in real life, I don't tear up that easily. You gotta really pull on my heartstrings to get me to cry, to a point where you almost have to rip them out entirely. But I'm glad this episode got the response that it did, which as far as I can see, mostly positive. I get asked to do a lot of Sonic fan projects, but this one is something very different. And in this instance, that's a good thing. Thank you, Mr. Fry, for the amazing scripts, and thank you, the audience, for listening and enjoying the work I'm putting out there, and that it's affecting you in a positive way. I hope to bring you more in the future.